Greetings, Collectamaniacs! In this video, I want to take you on a tour of my collectibles and physical media in the Tower Studio. As it's been a while since I've had a bit of a shift around and I feel as if I can't fully appreciate my collection as it's been piling up in a few places. Now recently I've been lucky enough to expand my empire into the room downstairs, which has given me a lot more space to play with, to which I am exceedingly grateful. However, I first wanted to pose the question of how do people deal with space and curation of their collections? Is it bespoke? Is it a jumble sale? Please let me know in the comments. And now for the tour. So here we are in the Tower Studio, going for the grand tour. As you can see, we have all my awesome stuff piled up in these massive shelves that I installed a couple of years ago now. And to be honest, this display has lasted a great amount of time and it's really held up. So I've employed these DIY skills into the shelves that I've installed in the downstairs room. Now it'll be interesting to see, I have actually used a different type of wood, but I think they'll hold up just as well, and I used a different type of paint as well. It was stained instead of this black paint, so hopefully it will kind of be a bit less drippy, because I remember when I was making these shelves that there was a bit of drippy sides on them. Anyway, on to the tour. As you can see, I've got stacks and stacks of this physical media piling up, and that's really why I needed to install these other shelves that we're going to see. But I just wanted to show you all this stuff because it's a shame that I'm going to have a bit of reorganisation, because it does look really impressive, and I just wanted to keep this as a little bit of a time capsule so I can look back on it in the future and go, yeah, that's what it used to look like, and now this is what it looks like. So it's going to be interesting, once I've moved some of this stuff down into the other room, what I'm then going to reutilise this space as. So, on with the tour. On this top shelf up here, we have some NECA Godzillas. Tracking along, that's actually a 3D printed Titanosaurus, which is one of my favourite characters from the Godzilla franchise. Now that was 3D printed by my friend Liam, which I am exceedingly grateful for, and you can see he just towers above all the other figures on that shelf, and I really need to paint that at some point. So moving along, we go into the Predators, and you can see that big Queen Alien there, and a couple of Pacific Rim characters on that end. Now, top of screen we have Slave One, or Jango Fett's starship from Attack of the Clones up there. Now, I would say that I am a bit of a Star Wars fan. Well, I wouldn't consider myself like the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, but considering how much stuff I've actually got, and a couple of things that we're going to see again later in the video on my new shelves, that I probably would consider myself at this point a pretty big Star Wars fan. So moving on to this second shelf, just a little diversion here, we have a rack of sonic screwdrivers, which is pretty cool, along with a plaque of the police public phone box thing from the front of the TARDIS, signed by Colin Baker in that corner. So along this massive second shelf, we can see all of my Doctor Who physical media, well, most of it anyway. I think I've got a couple of steelbooks on the shelf the other side of the room, but you can see we've got all the DVDs from the classic run of Doctor Who going into the new stuff, got all the box sets, and we've got the new collection box sets, which are really cool. Now, in front of those, obviously, we have a massive, and I mean mahoosive lineup of classic Doctor Who Daleks, and again, got some new stuff on the end here. Paradigm Daleks, some long Dapol stuff here, that's pretty cool. Little Dalek patrol ship, when they did that weird character options line of like 3.75 inch figures, which is pretty weird, but I got that from a really good deal, so go eBay. So yeah, I'll just give a bit of a close-up on some of these Daleks. Some quite rare Davroses there. You can see that special weapons Dalek. Now I don't know if you can see in these bits of video, but you can see these kind of white LED lights I had installed. Now they do just stick on, but unfortunately it is cool that they can actually be controlled via like a remote control, But the thing I just found with them was the fact that they literally just ran out of battery, so you're always having to chop and change them. So they kind of became a bit unused, which is unfortunate, but I do believe that a lot of people use those LED light strips, so if you've got any tips and tricks as to how to properly light one's collection, I would really love to know. So if we're moving on to the bottom shelf, now I'd probably say of these shelves, it is most definitely the bulkiest and kind of almost overspilling into the room. I have had a few occasions where this Ripley figure and a couple of these other ones have actually fallen down onto this studio space. So you can see we've got some of the recording equipment here. So if I go over to this corner, we've got our DVD collection. Loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of horror stuff in the middle there. I do like a good bit of horror. Got some classic horror there, some Hammer videos, some stuff like that, some zombie stuff, some actually Christmas stuff. I can see Jingle All the Way there. I do love Jingle All the Way. Then we're going into essentially what has accumulated over the last few months. This massive pile. Now that's double stacked, so I've got DVDs behind that as well, which I really want to see again. So I think I'm gonna have this room as more of a display room for figures. That said, I have a couple of figures on the new shelves that we're gonna see, and I'm now divided. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to display things, but at the front here we also have loads and loads of rare character options figures from Doctor Who. If you couldn't already tell, massive Doctor Who fan. Ooh. That's Alien from Alien Isolation. I have some really, really scary memories of that game. I loved it to pieces, but I never actually finished it, which was a shame. I'm definitely looking forward to Romulus. Romulus looks awesome. Robocop, I got that from a Comic-Con in St Albans. That was pretty cool. Ash from Evil Dead. Got a couple of Puppet Master figures there. Got Six Shooter, and who's the other one? Jester there at the end. I got them from actually another Comic-Con. That was the Luton Comic-Con. That was pretty fun. Got a couple of these NECA figures. Jason, Wolfman, Nightmare Demon from American Werewolf in London. Great film. Got the, he's looking a bit sad down there. I don't know if you see that's the American Werewolf in London NECA figure down there with King Kong. I think there's a Predator there as well. And then we got some more character options figures, Crinoids, Sea Devils, Leela, Drashig hand puppet. Now I think that is like the most obscure yet totally awesome character options figure. It's like completely hollow inside, and you can see that Gel Guard there from the Three Doctors. That's pretty cool, but it's kind of like hollow inside, but you can't really do anything. It's just got that moving claw on the front next to Morbius there. But that Drashig is literally a hand puppet, which is so exciting, and I just love playing with it. So yeah, as I say, got so many backed up DVDs here that really need organising. I've literally got these and basically just stacked them up and up, and you can see that they're almost spilling into this room, and it's a shame really, because I want to see the stuff that I've got behind it, because I've got quite the collection of some martial arts films that I'd like to see displayed in their full glory on the shelf once again. So if we take a look at the actual studio space here, you can see I've got a lightsaber that was displayed up there, but I had to use the mount for something else we're going to see later. Wow, well, I'm going to show you so much later anyway. Got the Godzilla collection there, a couple of laser discs, which I need to include in one of my physical media showcase videos. Got some Shore Scope Arrow Video box sets there. I'm actually really excited for the third upcoming Shore Scope. I think it's green and it's got all the One-Armed Swordsman films on it, which is pretty cool. Now, if I move over to this side of the room, you actually get a great view of my 55-inch 4K smart TV, PS5 included. Then we're going to move over to all these things. We've got a load of Godzilla stuff there. Again, physical media all the way down. Got some lightsabers, some figures. Backed up Blu-rays right there in front of this massive camera, which we use for the recordings. My 88 films collection, again backed up, so I really need to display those better on the new shelves. Arrow video collection, again, backed up, need to display them on the new shelves. Actually, I think Bride of Reanimator isn't actually a 4K. We've got all these 4Ks that, again, I want to move out of this room, which is kind of weird, I know, but the fact is that I actually want them to be a bit more accessible to the rest of the house, as we are about to install like a new TV, a new screen like this downstairs in the main living room, which is actually going to be really cool, because at the moment, let's just say that it's going a bit wonky. It's done its time, and it's time for an upgrade. Got a nice steelbook collection there. I dare say in the future I'm going to go into more detail into my physical media collection, but this is just an overview, as I say. Going down, got a couple of Doctor Who Target novels there. A very rare Mechagodzilla figure next to Rodan, which is pretty cool. 88 films, DVDs, I think we've got loads of Star Wars stuff, and Marvel is actually behind this shelf here. Now, I don't know if you can see, but just there, I've got my massive pile of cinema tickets, which we do all the reviews for in A Violet Nature. That was the last film we saw at the cinema, which is actually pretty cool. Check out the review of that on the channel, on the Zak and Buzz review. Up top, over the TV, you've got a K9, and TARDIS, a little Cybermat there, a little sonic screwdriver. Got a new Naboo Starfighter, Godzilla poster. Now you see that little Dalek up there that Jack drew for me. That was a very nice present, and I thank him very much for that. And do you know what? I think it'd be great to get him on the channel doing some of these collection videos, because I know we've done lots of reviews and things on films in the past, and it'd be great to rekindle that line of things. Massive X-Wing fighter there, which is impressive, but the actual build quality is a little lackluster, but it is a nice display piece nonetheless. I got that for like £8. £8, yeah. Well, that was a good car boot sale purchase. Now we've got some vintage Star Wars figures up on this side. I do like to have fun with them. Got the Rancor there, fighting Jar Jar Binks, I think he's losing, and eating a guard of some description. Got a speeder there as well. R4, R2D2, Mace Windu, Yoda. I think there's like 40 or so vintage stormtroopers back there. That's actually pretty cool. Then we're going to move on to this kind of retro Aliens and Predator shelf. I think the only odd ones out here are actually the Jason at the back. Now I don't know if, yep, I'll just move in slightly. You can see that I actually made that mask out of a bit of fabric, and I think I did a reasonable job for like, what, 12-year-old maybe. Got a Weta Workshop fig of the Cloaked Predator at the front. Kind of the overspill of the Doctor Who figures shelf, along with Robin for some reason. I've got this massive Pacific Jacks, Godzilla here, and as you can see, I've got a TARDIS. I've got so much stuff just clogging up this table that would be really good to do some unboxing videos that I really look forward to doing. Another Doctor Who rock mask at the back, which is really cool. Now this poster here on the side of the room, let's see if I can move this thing out of the way. Now I've had that displayed in whatever room I've been in like for pretty much all my life, so for me that's kind of a good piece of nostalgia, and I really love that poster. I think I actually discovered what that was actually filmed on. I think it was on the documentary 30 Years and Beyond in the TARDIS. I think it was on the Legacy Collection DVD box set just up there. Had Sharda on it as well. I think it's probably in one of those Blu-ray box sets, and I'll probably have to seek that out because it'd be good to watch again. Now, got an inflatable alien over here. A couple of, I say a couple, let's just move across a massive, and I mean mahoosive pile of Doctor Who figure sets from B&M and the like, and that's really one of the things I want to get displayed on some of these shelves. And considering I think if I move that big line of physical media Doctor Who up there down into this new room. I really think that's going to free up that space that I need to display all this stuff especially. And of course on this side, now I did say that I wanted to move a lot of the physical media down into that room, which we're going to see so very shortly. That I'm gonna make good use of it and good use of the space, and I can display more figures here, make a bit more breathing room, because as you say, there's a lot of stuff piled up and it's a bit messy in here, a bit disorganised. I really want to curate my collection to be the best that it can be, to show that passion and my appreciation for all the things I've collected over the years to whoever I bring up here. So, I think it's time we move on to the new shelves. So here we are, we have the new shelves in the new room, freshly installed. You can see that we've got a couple of tools lying around. If you haven't already checked out our Ryobi tool reviews, definitely go check that out on the channel, that'd be great. So, as you can see, I have not skimped out on the shelf space. I've got a big massive shelf running around the pretty much half of the room, followed by two more again above the bed and my little office space, which is really cool. Now as you can see at the moment they are pretty sparse in what they're covered in. That's because literally they've all just been painted and have dried off recently and they've all been screwed in now. The last shelf to go in was actually this tiny little spacer here, because I mean that from there to that end of the room, that's 8 feet, so that's no tiny shelves, and as making shelves go, you can't really buy them in 8-foot shelves. So these all had to be handmade and properly secured, as I did not skimp out on the brackets at all, because they are some pretty hefty brackets. Because on actually some original shelves I had up in the first room we saw, I did have some other kind of makeshift shelves that weren't the best, and we did make a joke of the fact as they started to bow and more things got piled onto them, that at one point or another we were going to have like a natural disaster of the Great Collapse. And we made a big joke of that. Oh, that was quite funny. But anyway, we've got these shelves which will hopefully expand my space up into the tower studio. There you go, we can take a little look. Oh, that stuff has got to come down here. So going on a little tour of the room, there's actually something that's quite new to the collection, which is the Kenner Rebel transport ship that I need to do a video on myself. I literally got that one within the last couple of weeks, along with, if I swing the lens, this absolutely fabulous, yeah, that's a good word, Millennium Falcon, which is all vintage from the 1970s, which I was really lucky to get my hands on, and I want to display this in its full glory somewhere, be it in here or up there with the other Star Wars spaceships, little TIE fighters and the like. That would be pretty cool. Now let's move along the shelf. What have I actually got in here? I've got a small rig, which is actually the the shoulder mount for that camera I've got over there, just randomly up there. It's a safe place, alright? I'm just proving the point that these are really sturdy shelves. Got a lovely Spider-Man figure, retro Terminator figure. Now I remember first seeing one of those at the House on the Hill Toy Museum. It's a great place. Mount Fitchett? Yeah, I think it's Mount Fitchett Castle or Village or whatever. We did a podcast on that actually. It's funny how these things all tie together. And we've got the Green Goblin from Spider-Man as well. Moving across, we have this framed, it's actually a box artwork from one of the Dennis Fisher Muton figures. Moving a bit closer. I just love the retro look and design of the Muton cyborg and android figures, and I'm again extremely lucky that I managed to pick up a Cybo Invader set with the box and all the artwork on that. So that'd be good to have a little look. You won't be able to see it from here, but it's in that little glass cabinet just up there. Again, that's the reason I've got these new shelves. It is to basically make the most of the space that I have, because being so passionate about collecting, you do accumulate so much stuff that I absolutely love to bits, and I really want to display everything in its full glory so it can really be appreciated for what it is, and I can share that appreciation with my friends and family so they can all enjoy it, much like you guys. Now, I did make a bit of a discovery in here actually that I did not know about, and that is I had secret shelves. Now, that may sound completely bonkers. Let's just take a look at this. So this is actually a so funny story about this bat is actually, that's the Star Wars mount I mentioned earlier in the video, that this bat is for tree knocking, and we got that from the Bigfoot conference. Not Bigfoot conference, it was the Cryptid conference, which was held on Birmingham-on-Sea literally last weekend, and it's from My Bigfoot Life, signed by all the people involved in the Bigfoot community, which is really cool. We're going to do a podcast on that shortly. Got this little fun 3D printed blockbuster sign all ready for the big collection. Now, on this first shelf, I'm imagining there being a lot of the kind of, I hate to say it, boutique Blu-rays. I don't like saying that. Boutique, come up with a better word for boutique. I really don't like calling them boutique Blu-rays. Yeah, that's it. I really don't like calling them that. I don't know why. Then, I don't know, I might put some DVDs up there. I'd love to have some suggestions if you guys have got anything that you like to say on how I should really present all this stuff. Now, the big one is definitely going to be that top shelf. That top shelf, I am planning to get all of that Doctor Who stuff from up there on that big middle shelf that we saw, and put it all up there, which is going to free up that space in the Tower Studio. Now, going back to what I was saying about the secret shelves. Now, that is the fact on this little staircase here, you can see a couple I've put here. You've got, literally, under the steps, you've got a nice little space for Blu-rays. And I've actually calculated this, that under each one of these steps, I can fit about 10 Blu-rays. Now, that works out at about 120 Blu-rays that I can fit on this staircase, which is really cool. Now, I hope I don't trip on them, so it's going to be interesting to see what I'm actually going to put there. I think I'm going to put just kind of your generic Blu-rays there, the ones that aren't particularly collectible, but are just kind of your mainstream movies. So that's going to be really cool to see what I actually put there. What did I put there? I put Commando, the Director's Cut, and Duel. Now, funny story about Duel. I actually got Duel for Jack as a Blu-ray when he passed his driving test, so I don't know if he's watched it yet, but it's a pretty fun movie. I actually won a quiz with answering what Spielberg movie won an Oscar that wasn't Jaws, and the answer was Duel. Now, just bearing in mind, I do have another little shelf here that I did kind of install actually way before we sorted the massive shelves out. Now, on here, this actually was in fact up in the Tower Studio, but I needed to get a sofa up there, and one thing led to another, and I moved down here, and we have this little shelving unit installed down here now. So on this shelf we have an AT-AT Walker from Star Wars, an ATST, got Turbo Man, and a couple of the, what are they called? The Godzilla vinyl figures. Oh, I should know. The Bandai figures, yeah, that's it. We've got, actually, the middle one's actually a Playmates Burning Godzilla. I got that when I was in Eastbourne. That was pretty fun. Good memory. Got Gamera, got that really good price. I think it was 20 quid off eBay. Gigan there, that's pretty cool. Got a Rodan from 2019, love that. And this Gigan here, got that for a steal, it was like 20 quid. Got a Walking Godzilla at the back there. Moving down, we've got a load of Godzilla stuff. We've got a lot of the Target Missing Adventures, Doctor Who novels, a couple of BBC novels there as well. I remember getting those from it's the Leicester Space Centre. There was a massive deal on those Doctor Who novels to the right of this shelf. I got about pretty much like at least a good third of those I got from that convention, and that was really cool. They're like £2 each, and I just could not say no. Now in front of them we've got the Mezco Godzilla figures. We've done a review on those on the channel as well. They're pretty cool. Moving down, something we haven't really seen much of on the channel is the NECA Pacific Rim. Well, I say NECA. That's Strike Eureka there in the middle with the swords. I'll point it with my foot. That one there from the first Pacific Rim film. That's a NECA figure. That one there, Obsidian Fury, he is from the second Pacific Rim film, as with a lot of the other ones, but the difference being that the Obsidian Fury is a Bandai figure, whereas these other ones are Diamond Selects figures, that's it. Now I've got this other space here at the bottom. Now I don't quite know what I'm going to put there, but in this box here I've got a load of accessories for all the miniatures, which is pretty cool. Whew. Wow, that was a pretty cool adventure. And of course up there on top of the wardrobes we have a massive collection of board games and the like. Impact is awesome. Hero Quest is awesomer. I do like Horrified. Horrified's cool. Gotta like Horrified. And there we have it. That is the room tour for the new room with all its new shelves. And I look forward to seeing, and hopefully you look forward to seeing, what I display on them in the future. That'll be really cool, and I look forward to seeing if you have any suggestions for me. So there we have it, a time capsule of my collection as of time of recording before the big shuffle around. Again, please let me know how you curate your collection in the comments, and stay tuned to see what I do with all those new shelves. I also have plenty of collection videos and unboxings in store, so look out for those. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Till the next time, Collectamaniacs.